honor to introduce my new friend, Mary Theroux. She's the CEO of Independent Institute in Oakland. Are you still on the board with Salvation Army? She's on the board with Salvation Army. I just met her last week, and when I talked to her, I'm like, you've got to come and present and share. You'll notice that Salvation Army is one of our sponsors, and Darren Norton was going to present, but there was a death in the extended Salvation Army family, so he's up doing a funeral in Modesto, so he had to bow out. So it was a win-win. Not only do you get to present, but also we get to have Salvation Army represented in a little bit. So, Mary, take it from here and share.
Great. Thank you, Ted, and hello, everybody. I do serve on the board of the San Francisco Salvation Army and have for many years, a couple of decades. So a few years ago, a small group of our board members got together and we did some strategic planning. And the San Francisco Salvation Army owns a lot of properties in San Francisco. And we realized we're really not doing the most good with them currently, and we could redevelop those to help to create residential programming for people who are experiencing homelessness to transform their lives and really achieve their full God-given potentials. So for the past 4 years, we've been meeting weekly for at least an hour and often more frequently to flesh out what that program would look at, flesh out what the buildings will look at, and strategy for being able to achieve that, raise the money for it, and bring it to reality. Early on, before COVID, we were having community meetings with people from City Hall, Fire Department, and other agencies. And when we outlined that we're going to be doing this very ambitious, up to 1,500 people at a time, helping them with recovery and transformational services, residential transformational services, we kept getting pushback of, well, we believe that using drugs is a civil right and you ought not to interfere with that. And the only thing we really need is permanent supportive housing. And we really realized, since we were advocating for additional choice for people who wanted to take that pathway, we were really going to have to make the rigorous case for that being a pathway that works for people. So Independent is a policy report institution, so we undertook a policy report making the academic peer-reviewed argument for the problems that lead to homelessness, and then solutions, in addition to policy solutions that will need to happen to help dampen this human tragedy that's going on every day. But we realize policy reports are great, and we want to make an impact with that. But we also have to get to people. We need to build community support in addition to donor support, because this is going to be a very expensive undertaking. So Independent undertook the creation of a short documentary. It's called Beyond Homeless, Finding Hope. I'm going to show you the trailer. Again, there's postcards in the back that have information about it and the QR code where you can look at it online, as well as a little flash drive that has the policy report on it, some op-eds, as well as the trailer. And the idea of the documentary is to share it with groups, neighborhood groups, church groups, community groups, policy groups, City Hall, all kinds of people. It's short, 38 minutes, great. It's casting a vision. Yes, it's looking into how terrible things are, but it also shows a model that's been working for 12 years in transforming lives with love. And it's casting a vision. The way things are is not the way things have to be. Because it's short, it lends itself well to these group discussions. You watch it for 38 minutes, then you talk. What lessons can we take from this documentary that we can apply to our community, to our church, to our neighborhood, and so on? So that's what we hope you will be able to do with it. I am always happy to come out and be part of a conversation. That's how Ted and I met last week, or anything we can do to help you in your efforts. So without further ado, we'll show the trailer.
San Francisco, the city by the sea.
California really was the Golden State when I arrived in the 70s. The streets of San Francisco were vibrant, free, and filled with hope. Now my beloved San Francisco has become known as ground zero for our nation's homelessness crisis.
Things are worse now for the homeless than ever.
San Franciscans have reached a tipping point.
After 40 years of failed approaches to reverse homelessness here, these once hopeful streets are filled with despair and brokenness. And until we tackle this problem, this will be our narrative.
There isn't enough drug treatment for everybody in this city.
What are you doing with all this money that has been allotted to the city? Where's that going?
So there's almost no development that anyone has a legal right to do in California.
We have pitted the smallest differences against each other.
You cannot arrest this issue away. You cannot arrest homelessness away.
Nobody is doing anything transformational.
Leaving people untreated is murder.
We're throwing vast resources at this issue, and it just keeps going up. Really? We can't come up with anything better than that? Beyond Homeless, Finding Hope is an exploration of what's driving the homelessness crisis here in California, and a look at alternative approaches around the country that offer hope with real solutions. Join us in changing the narrative of our nation's homelessness crisis.
Woo!